Hello, IT 201 students. Let's see, it's week 2 in our semester. In this week, we're kind of crawling before we walk, before we run with your background on information technology and computers and things of that nature. Um, in the lectures that go with this face-to-face class, which I've included in here in this online portion, we talk about some history. I don't think any topic is incomplete without talking about giving you some sort of a historical reference. And in this, think about these original computers that were developed in the 1940s in response to World War II, the size of which you couldn't fit in most buildings today, and compare that to the computing power that's on your phone today. There's an interesting slide in this module that describes the differences between the computing power of an iPhone 6, which I'm sure none of you have today, and that of all the computing power to launch the Apollo moon mission. And your lowly iPhone 6 is 32,600 times more computing power than the entire computing utility that it took to launch that space mission. Pretty incredible when you think about it. So look through those slides. You'll want to dive into your book also. The first chapter talks about CPUs and other hardware items, and then we bleed into storage and input-output devices. We don't go real deep on any of these topics here. You could spend you could get degrees in each of these topics, actually. So we're just scratching the surface on these, but I want you to understand at the conclusion of Mod 1 here, I want you to understand the basic components of a computer. Okay, all computers from the computer on your watch to your phone to your Mac or PC or whatever you have at home that you use, they all have CPUs, they all have some type of storage, and they all have input-output devices that allow information, data to come in, and data and information to go out. Okay, input-output devices. So the concepts that we're talking about here apply to every type of computer, from little tiny ones to great big ones. Okay. Now, as far as assignments goes, I do have assignments out there on Blackboard now. Your first one is due this coming Sunday. It is a write-up on cloud storage. You know, we've all heard about cloud. And cloud does indeed make the world go around today. And we'll talk more about cloud as the semester goes on. But I want to make sure you understand the notion of cloud storage and the different models that are available, and this whole idea behind elastic storage. Just what does that mean? You know, I want you to dig into this article, and I want you to do some additional research. Any of your write-ups are going to be augmented by any outside research that you do on, in this case, cloud storage, of which there's tons of it out there. But to the extent that you can reference external material in addition to this article, that lends even more credibility to your writing. So that's going to be due this coming Sunday. Now, with this assignment, this is much, let me back up. In the IT world, I think we talked last week about the importance of communication skills. And that's why I have this business communication primer out here, this primer document. I want you to adhere to the principles in that document. So when I look at your write-up, what I'm going to be looking for is, number one, do I know who you are? I want to see your name and the class that you're in here, in this case IT 201. I want to see a clear title, what it is, what are you writing about? Thirdly, I want to see a bottom line up front, in italics, front and center, a sentence or two that explains to me what you're writing about and what your take on it is. Okay? I want to know what your conclusion is on this. Then, lastly, I want to see guideposts, headings that act as guideposts to the reader so that I can be guided through your reading. That is, I don't have to guess about what you're talking about, okay, or what you're writing about in this case. Those are sound, fundamental business writing skills that I want you to pay attention to here. That's what I'm going to be looking for, as well as your understanding of the topic. Okay. Also on Blackboard, you'll notice that I have a discussion board link out there. And your first discussion board is going to be due, let's see, on the 7th, on February 7th. And we're going to talk about people chips. People chips. Got an article out there on people chips, and this is a really interesting, potentially scary topic that I want you to be aware of. So anyway, we're diving into the basics of computers this week, basic hardware functions, and we'll describe a little bit more next week. But you'll want to start reading in chapter 1 of your book, chapters 1 and 2 of your book for this week and next, and pay attention to the module lectures that are out there. So, and one last thing. In those module lectures, you're going to see exercises and things of that nature that are intended for my face-to-face class. I supply these as kind of a augment or an adjunct, I guess, to the class that would be typically just online where you're reading. Gives you some summary background as to the topics here. So anyway, you don't have to worry about participating in any of those drills or assignments and things that you see in there. Your assignments will all be on Blackboard and on your schedule here. So hope that helps. Good luck, and please reach out to me either via email or phone anytime. Thank you very much.